Hey everybody! Okay, let's get it out of the way right now. Children of Morta came out a year ago in September for PC, and a month later, in October, it came out to consoles like PS4. That is the version I reviewed, and to this day, October 14th, which, to brag a little bit, is also my birthday, that is when I published my review. So, it has had several updates over the past year now, and I decided to go back for the very first time, replay the whole thing, and well, here I am now giving my thoughts on everything that has been changed in the year with the multiple updates, the DLC, and all that stuff. And just because it's a year later, and I thought it was a fun day thing to do on the anniversary of my review of the anniversary of this game launching, if you can follow that. So I'm basically going to go through the first dungeon you go through with the new character that they added in one of the updates. So, for all of these updates, they added tons of new lore, new items to add to your house, new enemies, a lot of small changes here and there, but the big one is this new character, Apan, along with New Game Plus. So, with my saved data from the last game, I was able to port everything over. Basically, all of your stuff from your stats to your gold, all that stuff comes back. The only thing that is not back is all the story-related stuff, so you still have to go through the entire game again. And playing it again, I kind of just planned on checking up Opan and some of the new content to be like, okay, yep, this was fun, and maybe doing a video on that. But then I got hooked in, and I replayed the entire thing all over again, and it was just as fun the first time, just as fun the second time as it was the first time. You get the idea. So yeah, first of all, let's talk about Apan here as I'm playing this. She is also a mage, just like Lucy. She has the blue, the mage meter there instead of the stamina. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Her normal attack is that little arc. She can use the triangle to kind of hone in a bigger arc, or make a smaller arc to damage enemies. That would be more useful for bosses and stuff like that. But using L1, you damage enemies in an area, and that drains down the magic meter essentially. Along with, I have an ability where it heals now too. So I think I had more fun playing her than Lucy. Lucy is very hard to wrap your head around until you really get into the more meteor stages of her, character leveling up. Apan definitely is not my favorite character. I would say she's mid-tier. I think she'd be a great second for co-op, but yeah, I do think that she is a good character though. The one thing that kind of stinks is that she comes there pretty much in the beginning of the game, but then they don't really change much of the story, so she's kind of absent. Even though she's there, she's absent for all of the major cutscenes, and she has like a handful of her own that adds some more lore to the family. But it's just kind of weird. It's kind of like Final Fantasy VII with Vincent and Yuffie. Yeah, if they're in your party, they'll say some stuff. But there's definitely some parts of the game where it would make more sense if they actually piped up, and in the ending, they're not even there. So, they're eventually added in with all the extended lore and stuff like that. And in the remakes, I'm sure that they'll actually be integrated in the story. So, I mean, that kind of was weird, but I understand not rewriting the entire story to add Apan into it. So, and I'm probably butchering that name, so I'm sorry if it's Apan or Apan or Pan, like the Fonzie, Pan. Anyway, so yeah, and I loved being able to have the New Game Plus. I think more games should definitely do that, but they should hold off on that, because when a game offers me New Game Plus right from the get-go, I usually won't snap onto it, because I play a lot of games, not to brag, but that kind of is one of my jobs. So I move on pretty fast from content. But if they add a New Game Plus after the fact, basically, I'll come back maybe and, check it out. I'm not going to replay a game start to finish right after I finish it the first time, in other words. But a year later, maybe I will. If it's a short game like Children of Morta, heck yeah. One of her cool things, she gets players more healing orbs, which definitely helps a lot in that skill tree. I think that's like the big thing with her. And so it kind of makes the game a little bit easier, although there's a lot of characters that, once you level them up to the max, it does make everything easier. And New Game Plus, another thing I should also mention is that they increased the limit for how much you can level up your stats, like, how much damage you do, how much health your family gets. And there's a couple other small things, but all the stuff was free. But there was some paid DLC for $5, which was, I'm going to butcher the name. It was Paws and Claws, I think, is what it was called. But basically, it added in a little animal shelter to the Bergson house. And it lets you feed random animals that you can get, like the dog, which, you rescued in this cave, but he did nothing. Now they actually let him do something. You can feed the animals, and they'll grant temporary buffs to your party, like more luck or more experience, stuff like that. So, that was nice. The thing is, it's like, why would they add a $5 DLC for just a small thing like that? Kind of a ripoff, right? Well, the cool thing about that is everything from the money, everything from the money, that's a weird way to say that, all of the money went to the Humane Society. So that was cool. It was just like kind of a, a charity thing, but they also gave you something back for it, which was very nice. And I, of course, did that because I want to see some cute animals. And also it's nice to donate to charity, especially when you get bonuses. But yeah, so that was the other huge update. Rank the significance, I guess that'd be at the bottom. New Game Plus would be second, and I guess Apon would be first, or maybe it'd be upon second. Doesn't matter. The point is, in terms of rankings, I still agree with my review, which I will have in the show notes if you want to watch the whole thing, and not as much as in a meandering way as I'm going through this now. But I still stand by my 9 out of 10. All the updates, I don't think, really make it a standout perfect game. I mean, for me, this is like a 20 out of 10. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But I do, there are a lot of flaws with it. Like the loading. The loading, they did not change. Well, I mean, maybe they changed it, tweaked a little bit, but it seemed just as long on PS4 as it did last year. And just like last year, the game did freeze on me a couple of times. Just maybe have to hard reboot the game. And not many games do that for me. I guess I'm pretty lucky. But this one consistently did it last time. This time it didn't do that much. I played through the entire game, as I said. So in about, I don't know, playthrough must have been at least 10 to 15 hours. In that time, only 2 times did it, make me halt my progress. Which, in the first review, my first playthrough, I think maybe it happened like a dozen times. And so, if you freeze the middle of a dungeon without it actually saving, you lose pretty much all that progress, which stinks, because a run doesn't take as long as a run in other roguelikes, since everything is level based. But it did still stink, and so those 2 things really make it stand out for it, not being a perfect experience. But like I said, I love this game to death, flaws and all. And, whatever, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 20 out of 10, what does it all matter? What matters is, you should buy this game because it's out on almost pretty much every platform. I hope it comes to, I guess it would come to next-gen consoles, since, backwards compatibility and all that stuff. And I kind of don't want to see another port of this with, the definitive edition, like so many other things happen when it comes to new generations of consoles. I just want to see what the developers do next, because I hope it's not a sequel. I hope it's a sequel game with a family or maybe a band of thieves that band together to have like a family dynamic. But I think the roguelike stuff was so cool, so accessible for newcomers to the genre, especially because it has co-op, and I just love the family dynamic of it all. And I think I'm gonna stop here before I get to the boss. Just I don't know, not spoil too much. I don't know, if you've never played this game before, it's stupid. Why would you not play this game? This game is consistently on sale on all major platforms. I've seen it less for like $5. I've seen a physical edition on sale for under $10, and that is criminal. This game needs to be played, especially if you're Hades people out there, which is making the rounds. If you want more, this is more if you never played it last year. So I'm rambling even more than I was rambling before. Point is, this game rocks. 1 year later, still holds up. Go play it. Happy anniversary, and happy birthday to me. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time.